Right. It's been a while. Might be. I've had a lot of loose ends to tie up before I ditch my current job. So yeah, I've been busy with that, realistically. So where I left off, I had this to demold, this to clean up, this is an initial cast. Yeah, okay. So I think I'll start by dealing with this. Which should be easy right up until the middle bits. Nice. Alright. Yeah, they look pretty decent. I can use them. They should work out just fine. So these can just vibe for a while, I guess. Let's have a look. So I gotta sand it down in the same ways I did with this one. So I gotta remember what I did. I can at least take down the sharp edges. If I stick them together and see how they end up. Because I got a couple options here. I'm debating whether I go with option B over option A. But let me see how they go together first. I'll make a decision based on that. From what I remember, I've got to sand that bit down as well. I was debating drilling a hole to try and get them to be even. I can probably just guess, right? Probably. I need to sand this down. Right. Let me stick on a dust mask real quick. Alright. I mean, I'd probably be fine, but also I don't chance these things, to be honest. So, yeah. I think it's a bit up here that's a real problem. Just trying to get those points together. But then I can just kind of end it, really. Not the end of the world. Always fill bits where I need to. So maybe that's how I deal with that. Let's see. I want to move this out the way now. No, I don't have room there. Let me put it over here for now. Just because I kind of don't want to get a ton of dust in it if I can help it. That looks so sweet for a blade. Are there going to be two of them? Thank you. So the plan is two halves, whack them together, and then cast them as one thing. So I'll end up with a two-part mold that I can end up just making one big thing from that's double-sided. That's the plan. It'll make more sense when I actually start doing it. I promise. Just trying to get these two halves to sit together at the minute. Love the aesthetic of it, what inspired the design. It's going to eventually be a glass dagger. Hey, yo, thanks. It's going to be a glass dagger from Skyrim. So, if the camera focuses, kind of, there we go. So that's the original template I drew up, based on the 3D model from the game. And I'm kind of rolling with that as, like, the final thing. So it should be pretty cool by the time I'm done with it. Oh my god, I thought it looked familiar. Yo. Yeah. I am a reasonable Skyrim nerd. I'm not like a fanatic. I don't know everything there is to know, but also, as games go, I enjoy it very much. That's pretty cool indeed. Thank you. The plan is to... So I made the blade part separate, because the plan is to cast this in a clear resin that I tint kind of greeny blue, and then I can do the hilt and the grip separately, so they can be opaque and metallized. So eventually, I should have a bunch of parts that make up a pretty epic looking dagger. Hopefully. But at the minute, I just got to try and get these two halves to kind of sit vaguely together-ish. Nah, this one still needs sanding back. Same, it's always my go-to realm of escapism. Resin work is a skill, looking forward to seeing it come along. Thank you. I'm, fairly inexperienced with a lot of it. I've done bits and pieces before, but this is the first time I've done something this kind of specific, I guess. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it's an awful lot of, nope, that didn't work, and nope, not quite. But that's kind of kind of the whole point in streaming all of this. Just as a way of saying, like, look, this stuff does not go perfectly most of the time. Like, the end result may end up looking really cool, but to get to that point, you gotta screw it up like a million times over. Well, there's one way to develop a craft, that's by doing it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think a lot of people get put off when they see the kinds of things that people upload to social media. Like, it's amazing, don't get me wrong, I love it. But when people are just starting out, it can be pretty disheartening. So I kind of wanted to stream all of this stuff just to prove, like, no, you are supposed to screw it up, and it's supposed to take forever. Crafting is a learning process. Yeah, absolutely. 110%. As you say, it is how you develop stuff. And it's a cliche for sure, but need to fail to learn stuff. It's just how it works. It's true. Failure is an opportunity for character development. 100%. It absolutely is. Real words have rarely been spoken. It's honestly the best way of looking at it. The end's a bit of a pain, but that's no biggie. So what I'm inclined to do is to try and get these sat to be as even as possible. I think the blade's going to matter the most. Do you cosplay? I do. I've been cosplaying for, geez, for a while. The more I think about it, the more I think, gee, yeah, it's been a while. My first proper cosplay was when I was 13, and I'm now 28. So ever since then, I have been making stuff, to varying degrees of success. I'm assuming you do craft stuff as well, judging by, your username and the interest. Seasoned professional, very cool. I would never call myself that. Experienced, yes. Professional, I don't think I ever will be. I don't think cosplay is something that you can necessarily be a professional in. That's just my take. I think screwing stuff up is part of the charm, you know? I'm learning different crafts. Oh. I think a lot of crafts tend to overlap, so makes sense. I'm assuming they'd be things that are kind of in a similar sort of area. Or they could be things that are completely different. That happens too. I think that's part of what I love so much about cosplay. It just encompasses so many different skills. Been learning how to process clay recently. Ah, still learning to dry and fire it. Very cool. I haven't done any of that since I was in secondary school. I've dabbled, but only for a few years in school, so, you know. I've not used any, like, earthenware stuff for years. I tend to use exclusively, like, plasticine when I'm sculpting stuff, because it's reusable. So, I haven't done any pottery, I suppose. Ceramics, I should say. Haven't done any of that for many years. So, good on you. Glazes are fun. So true, cosplay requires a variety of mixed medium skill sets. Oh yeah, massively. And I love it. Every new interest is an opportunity to learn a new skill, attempt a new craft. It's always carnage. And I wouldn't want it any other way. That's what life's all about. Carnage and chaos crafting is what makes it fun. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of at risk of taking this deeper than it needs to be. I think that's been like a generational shift. I think you tend to find that the more recent generations have a real appreciation for for the need to include fun in your life. You know, it's not just you work a standard job, you earn money, you support yourself through existence. go on a holiday once a year, and then die, you know? I think these days there's more of an emphasis on, okay, but why live? You know? What's the point? If you're not enjoying yourself, then why bother? So now there's this I suppose there's the arts have a greater appreciation. Crafts have a greater appreciation. It's about time, right? I think it's unbelievably important. Part of the human experience. Otherwise, you know, what are we here for? For real though, I couldn't continue existing in the rat race. We have to break away from the mundane massively. Massively. That's why I ended up. Well, I'm still serving my notice period at my current job. Because, you know, couldn't do it anymore. It was insane. Especially in corporate environments. There's so much office politics and everyone's got their own motives. I don't care. I just wanted to show up, do a job, go home. But in the end, I couldn't even do that. So, thought, you know what? What am I doing this for? So now I'm here. And I'm hoping that eventually I can make a decent living doing things that bring me meaning to existing. And that's what I want for everyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same interests. Just something that gives us a purpose, I suppose. A reason to just to keep going, I guess. Good on you for choosing you. Life will be so much better when you don't have to show up to toxic environments. Yay, stoked for you. Thank you. I think the thing for me is, and it's something that I realized fairly recently. So I'd gone to Comic Con and it was the first time I'd competed with cosplay, and I ended up doing much better than I thought I would. So I got to talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people had said that, you know, oh, I'd love to start cosplaying, but, you know, I'm no good at it, and again, I'm taking this deeper than I need to, but my ultimate goal, I would like to try and help inspire people to take those kinds of leaps, even small things, because you'll hear me say it a lot. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So you may as well just try and see what happens. What's the worst? It doesn't work? Okay, well, try something else. That's a great attitude, and many people will benefit from hearing your perspective. Thank you. You can do it, I believe in you. uh, well, very much appreciated. I'm hoping that all of this will be the start of something much more substantial. My end goal isn't to be any kind of like super famous or super popular or super wealthy. I only want to help people. That's it. I want to help people and I want to have fun doing it. Because I know how much stuff like this has helped me. And I want to share that. It just comes back to that whole having something to exist for, you know? yeah, I will be around a lot more. Basically, I've got one more week at my current workplace, and then after that, I have a whole schedule planned for getting Twitch up and running properly, and sticking to a routine around it all. I love that. It's a worthy thing to share. Thanks. It's one of those things. It means a lot to me, you know. I think especially because because I've been doing this for so long. Growing up, it was kind of exclusively me, you know. I was doing this alone for most of it. And then I got to conventions and got to talking to like-minded people and started to realize that actually there are a bunch of people that like this, and I might be able to help some of them. I'd like to. So yeah, that's the plan. And that gives me my purpose, my reason. It's my motivation. Of course, I love what I do as well. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't. It's a noble quest you're on, traveler. I like to think so. And I will eventually disable that bot that talks about music. When I set all of this up, I'd planned to have music in the background, and then I opted against it in the end. Because I know when I'm watching people, I like to be doing other stuff. So I didn't want music to put people off, you know? This is very much one of those stick it on in the background sorts of channels. I'm not intending to hold everyone's full attention at all times. It's just a chill kind of vibe, you know? Because sorting this stuff out takes a long time. I don't expect anyone to hang around for all of it. I wanted it to be a very casual sort of atmosphere. Nice, mellow, rock up, have a little chat. Some people show up, end up taking a nap, and then pop back in chat again. And I'm very flattered I can be used as ASMR. That's cool with me. Very cool. It's been nice getting to know what you do here. Thanks. It's been nice having someone to talk to. Because where I'm at, it's just gone 2 in the morning. So as far as visitors to the stream, I usually have a couple of people. But as I say, typically I'm on my own, which I don't mind. But it's nice having someone to bounce off of, so thank you. Nice to be able to share some good vibes. Holy heck, that's dedication to the craft. Yeah. Well, because I start work very early, so I want to get a good couple hours in before I have to go deal with that. But then I've been waking up early for years. It's just my preferred time. It's nice and peaceful. It's nice and dark. Gives me some me time, basically. But once I'm done with work, I can start doing this at slightly more civilized times. I'll still be getting up early, but I'll be going to the gym instead. Because that was what I used to do. And that's what I prefer doing. Just kind of, wakes me up, clears my head. Just a nice feeling. Then I can come back and make some stuff. It's a pretty awesome day, to be honest. And that's the plan going forward. Oop, camera's frozen again. Okay. Having more time to dedicate to all of this means I'll be able to sort my setup out as well. It's better than it was, but still not ideal. So I'm working on it. Alright, I gotta head out and organise some things. Keep up the good work. Catch up around. No worries. Thanks for stopping by. Very much appreciate it. I'll catch you in a bit. Have a good one. I'll be here. Just vibing. Is this the one that I need to stand down? I think it is, right? Oh yeah. This one. Hey, good to see you. Hope you're having a good time. What's up? I am indeed. I'd planned to be back here a couple of days ago, but I had a lot of stuff I needed to get done. So I've been occupied with more mundane stuff. And I had a little bit of time this morning, so figured I'd stop by. Can't stay long, so see you around. Fair enough. More than fair. I'll probably be sanding for a while anyway, so looks good so far. Ah, thanks. Plan is to end up with two halves that I can slap together. Kind of join them, smooth it all off, and then it'll be a two-part mold, and I should, hopefully, then be able to cast everything in one go. That's the goal. But getting everything to sit flat is tricky. There'll be a little bit of messing around with stuff. I don't mind that. Main thing is, by the end of it all, I'll have a very cool thing. And it'll be a very cool thing that I can reproduce a bunch of times. That's the most important part. Gotta think about the best way of joining these. I kind of want to pin them together. I don't want to split anything. Well, stuff drills pretty easily, to be fair. I think I need to try and figure a way of joining them. I just did end to end. There's a fairly sizable difference. So I'm inclined to prioritize getting the blade matching. It's tricky. Maybe it would be an end-to-end sort of thing. Let's see there. Then that takes out that. Maybe if I offset it slightly, it'd be a little less painful. Something like that. Just not sure whether I'm going to be making my life difficult by trying to take away that much. The answer is probably yes, because it's not completely straight or anything. But then I knew it wouldn't be. It's got to evaluate how much it matters. If I were to mess with it with these ones, what kind of a difference would it make? End to end. It doesn't look so bad on there. It will be off both sides, so maybe that's how I'll do this. I'll test it on the inconsequential ones. See whether it ends up being a problem. So, let me mess with this. Mess being the operative term, because this is going to be a mess. Just want to see whether my method is gonna cause me more problems than I'm willing to mess with. So I'll test it on these, because they're essentially scraps at this point. So I'll start by messing with this bit. It's going to be the quickest way of dealing with this. Realistically, probably a Dremel also. It is 2 in the morning where I am. So I'm probably going to want to not do that. I'll find a really coarse sandpaper and I should be able to shave that down pretty quick. It's going to make a massive mess, but it's whatever. It's fine. That should work. Yeah, that'll be fine. Use this. Jeez, yeah. Okay, this should be fairly quick. Yeah, that's fairly immediate. Because my concern is I can get these to match up. How is it going to look on the reverse? Not terrible, actually. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see, can I just contain a bunch of this? Because kind of want to just be able to bin a lot of that. Of course, there's a split in the plastic down there. Of course there is. Yeah, that doesn't actually look too bad. I don't mind that a whole bunch. I have to do the same on this side, which is going to take considerably longer. I'd like to be able to Dremel this. But it's way too early in the morning to get away with that. So in fairness, this might actually work out. Despite my reservations, might work. But I wanted to test it before I went ahead, just to see whether it ended up looking hideous, or basically just kind of screwing up the other side. Actually, it should be fine. should be pretty okay. Tests go. Actually pretty useful. Yeah. Not too bad. This still needs taking in a bit, but the methodology is sound, so I think I will roll with that. Wasn't sure if it was going to make things look uneven. So, knowing that that's pretty much fine, do it end to end, more or less. Sort of there and there, I'd say. Where did I put it here? That is fine. I'm inclined. See, if I had a bunch of clamps, I could have a really good go of this. I don't. So what I'm thinking... I want it to be like that. I want it to be glued. So, I'm thinking maybe I can glue it with more fast cast. If I just mix up a tiny bit. This is all cured anyway. So I think I'll do it like that. And I think what I'll do is I'll mix up a little bit of fast cast, whack it in the middle, and use that to kind of fuse the halves together. It shouldn't take long to go off. But I don't have any clamps, otherwise I could just glue it and leave it. Unfortunately, that's not a thing I can do. I need to get a bunch of clamps. I've got a vice, but that doesn't really help the end-to-end situation. Not really. So once I've finished picking the crud out of this cup, I'll use this in the fast cast. I need to make sure that the flat surfaces have been sanded back a little bit, so there's something to grip. So I'm actually going to use some pretty coarse stuff. So it's going to be easier for fast cast to grip to something. If it's too smooth, it will have no purchase. Still arguably too smooth. I've got more coarse stuff. There we go. This is very coarse. So I need to be fairly careful with this. Okay. That should be okay. That's better. Right. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. That should then be a much easier surface to stick to. A little bit up here as well. I'll do the same with this one. See, that's worked a lot better on this one. Just want to get rid of any of the shiny patches. Because if it's shiny, it's much less likely to grip. And make sure everything still fits together reasonably okay. Yeah, that's pretty fine. Pretty much fine. That was really good. This one's still got some shiny bits. So, a little bit more. It'd probably be pretty much fine anyway. But it's just safer to play it safe. the reason these things take me so long. I'd rather do it properly the first time and then not have to do it again. I suppose it's kind of like the whole measure twice, cut once principle. The better you prep stuff, the more likely it is that you only have to do it once. It's considerably more matte. Seems pretty good. And as far as it's sitting together, I think the middles are just slightly high. It's hard to tell. Slightly. Get rid of a bunch of this. This one's really interesting. Don't want to go too far with it. So I don't want to get... So I can kind of see a line through the middle there, which will be this. I don't want to go too deep with it, because I'm not about to mess with any of that. I'm going to leave that as it is. That's better anyway, to be fair. And I want to make sure that as much dust is off of these as I can get. That's one. Two. The very ends I'll mess with. As far as getting stuff to fit where I want it. Probably not the worst. See, that one sits flat, this one doesn't. It's high on this side. I've not finished sanding that. Let me fix that real quick. Better. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I can deal with that. I can deal with that. Right. I want to stick these together, but I don't want any of the fast cast to go over the edges. Because that will be a massive problem when it comes to cleanup. So, I only really want to mix a tiny bit. Like a tiny, tiny bit. Okay. Let me have a think. As I say, glue is my preference, but I don't have any clamps. So, what I think I'll do is whack on a respirator, mix up a tiny amount, and hope, objectively. I just clamped it in the middle. The edges would be scuffed. The ends, I should say, not edges. Okay. I think I'm gonna pretty much make this up. So, pick that out the way. Where is my respirator? It's here. I mean, it's such a tiny amount, it's probably not going to be a problem, but like, again, I don't chance these things. While I'm sorting this out, I kick my camera apparently. Maybe I'll be real quick, and then I'll be back.
Alright, I'm back. Went to get a drink as well. So, we're back at the gloves. Oh, do I need to use a cup, technically? Potentially not, you know. I might be able to get away with just mixing a tiny bit on something else. That's right, I'll do that. I've got bits of plastic and stuff kicking about. Case in point. I can just mix it on something like this. And just paste it in the middle, basically. What I'm thinking. Sorry, let me roll my sleeves down, just because, you know, paranoia. Right, and I reckon... Actually, I think my sleeves are going to get in the way. You can actually be slightly more careful if they are out of the way. Pour a tiny bit in the cap. Do the same with the other one. It seems roughly even. Don't you run away from me. I'm basically just going to wait until it becomes kind of more of a paste. I think I'm going to need more than that, really. But let me see. Add a tiny bit more. It's way too much. And do the same with the other part. A little bit more. And who knows, this might not work. Then I can try. my reaction time is going to have to be pretty damn good. I'm going to bring myself over. All pretty much water, or the consistency of. That's getting slightly better. Definitely thinking about it. Right. Oh, I'm just gonna, you know, vibe here for a while, I guess. Call it about there. I think might do the thing I want it to do. Right. I'm gonna leave that for a while. I think that might actually work, you know? So, cool. I'll just leave that for a while, and I'll tidy it up when it's cured, I guess. Epic. hopefully that all works out. In the meantime, I'm going to tidy up some of this. Yeah, I'll leave this out, but I'll take this away again. I've got some other bits that I can sand. Oops. Keep clicking the camera. Okay. Let me get rid of some of this dust. Okay. In the meantime, I might have a little look at this Charizard again. Just because I need to not be impatient with this. So, if I'm occupied with something else, now I got half a chance. In fairness, I do need to start thinking about dealing with all this. Trouble is I can't really sculpt this, so I know how this is turning out. That's why I waited to begin with. Yeah, kind of need to finish all of this first, then use it sculpt on top of, basically. But I've got to mould it before I do that. So many components for all of this. And all of it revolves around needing to be patient. It's so not my forte. Not good at being patient. What else can I do while I'm waiting that's vaguely productive? Maybe it will just be this Charizard. To be honest, it may just be this Charizard. That's fine, it's better than nothing. It's not particularly exciting. But it is what it is. I remember, I think that bit in there needed filling. I reached the end of my playlist. That's fine, I'll just start it up again. Been a windrose morning this morning. I'm actually going to go see them in October. And I'm excited for that. I want to make something for that as well, but we'll see. It needs to be fairly low on my list of priorities. Because it's the same month as Comic Con. So I'd love to get the SAT finished way ahead of time. But I'd like to do. I don't know. I'll have to see. see. It'd be nice if I could get most of this handed down. I want to be able to paint some of these at some point. Yes, this was really caked in primer. I love my mates, but sometimes it might actually help if I brought this down a bit. Do that. I don't know how easy it is to see that. It might be, it might not be. Like last time, I'm trying to support stuff as I'm sanding it. I don't really want to be applying any pressure without supporting it. Its prints are pretty strong. Even so, better to be sensible with it. Gotta think about how long I leave the fast cast for. Because realistically, it'll probably be fine quite quickly. Oh, well, that feels fine. But if I play it safe and I say it 10 minutes from now, then I'll have a look at it. That just seems sensible. Will it focus? Think about it. I always find it so easy to just kind of drift off into your own head when you're sanding stuff. It's so mellow. kind of hard determining how much of this needs to come off. It's a lot, but also maybe not even that much. Trying to see what sort of shape the wing wanted to go in originally. And I'll eventually stick a grey primer on top of that. And I'll be able to see a little bit better. With that bit broke, did it? Got it. Big old crack in that. Explains a lot. Yeah, that broke. Probably because of that. Okay. Duly noted. You didn't warn me about any of this. Maybe I'll use a slightly coarser sandpaper to get the worst of this off. It's going to be here for a while otherwise. Yeah, that's better. Give it another couple of minutes, then I'll check the fast cast. Better. I'll make it nice again. That's better. Yeah, that's a lot better. I'm going to be kind of careful around that crack. Basically just going to leave it where it is. Fill that. Once I have a better idea of what it looks like. The rest of this is not the worst. Not the best, but it's not the worst. A couple of little bits in here that I can fix. Okay. Better than it was. Feels pretty decent. Yeah, this bit in here is a massive problem. Proper crack. I don't know whether it focuses. Kind of. There we go. Right in here. Proper nasty crack. So I'll have to faff with that eventually. But for now, I'd imagine the fast cast is probably okay. Yeah, it's fine on the plastic bag, so I'd imagine it'll be okay in here also. Now this is going to require, say, at least I know it sticks pretty well. Yeah, for this whole thing, I'm gonna have to Dremel down. I don't expect I'll be able to get very far. with, to be honest. I don't need to Dremel off the worst of that. And then and paper at the very end. Also, kind of don't want to get a ton of dust everywhere if I can help it. Something tells me I may not be able to help it. I think it's going to be one of those things. Let's see what I can manage to get done. In fairness, it's not taking that long. What would be ideal would be if I can turn down most of this, and then fill a bunch of gaps with some Milliput before I have to duck out. That would be ideal. I'm tempted to bite the bullet as far as using the Dremel and then just, accepting the consequences of my actions. Otherwise, it's going to take me ages. So let me find it. That as well, that might help. Dremel acquired. I need to find a little toolkit with bits. Okay. Right. Grab a little spanner. Now I'm reluctant to use anything too aggressive. At the same time, it'd be quicker if I did. Just getting rid of the worst of it. That's the plan. Not doing anything down to the wire. Just want to be able to take off the worst of it. That's all. Get into a fairly comfortable position before I commit. Which way does it spin? That way. Right. Alright, I am covered in dust. Oh well. If I'd had the extractor on, that probably would have helped, but there you go. I also shouldn't have worn the hoodie that I wear to work. That was not the smartest move. Oh well. It is what it is. Alright. Let's have a little look. See what I'm up against. Okay, that's definitely handled the worst of it. I'll just do the same for the other side. And, yeah, see what happens, I guess. Out of interest, can I get the extractor over here? Is it still plugged in? Try not to wreck all of my fierce deity gear. Or it's still plugged in. Pretty sure. That helped a bit, I think. It's just all very loud. And that's a problem at this time of the morning. Such a mess. I'll have to have a pretty thorough cleanup before I start any other bits to this. Right. Let me grab this again real quick. Just to see. Whether I can at least faff with this bit. That's the thing, is that this one's very thin along here. Where's my nail file? That edge is not bad. This obviously all needs fixing. I can do that. Sort these edges out first. To a point that I'm okay with them. Getting there. Might do is whack this on here. Get one of these. That's better. Huh? Bit there is still too thick. Try and fix that. Might be slightly easier. Yeah, slightly. A lot of gap filling with this. That's fine. I'm not bothered by that. Not going to be perfectly symmetrical because it never was. But I can live with that. I can just get it as close as possible. That'll be fine for me. think I basically need to take it from this bit up here. And if I just deal with the worst of it for now, I can mess with the rest later. Again, gonna make a massive mess. Maybe I should try soundproofing the garage at some point. Gives me more options. Not bad. That's better than it was. Still sticks out slightly there. I can just get in there. That seems better. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. That evens that up. I'm trying to do the same on the other side. What's the time? Okay. I've got time. Let's see if I can make a bit more. Take a bunch from up here. Let's do that. I'm gonna keep it straight. Isn't easy. But it's easier to control when you're doing it by hand. Which is why I said I'd rather get the worst of it off with a Dremel and then do the rest by hand, really. Otherwise I tend to find I end up sort of accidentally cutting into stuff and leaving like sort of semicircular divots and things. Just where the Dremel kind of bites. It'll take a little chunk out. Alright, getting there. It wasn't so early in the morning, I'd hook up my belt sander and whack this along that. But it's too loud. Alright. None of that. In fairness, I am getting there. Definitely better than it was. Okay. Definitely better than it was. It looks quite nice on this side. Everything's sort of more even. Still gotta take this little ridge down up here. Oh, getting there. Finally. That's pretty good. In fairness. Not bad. And it's come down a little bit up there. Will eventually round that off as well. Not an awful lot I can do with it at the minute. Once I've filled in all the gaps, I'll have options. Yeah, this one is still sticking out more than its counterpart. Right, to get some more sandpaper in a sec. better. Yeah, better. Okay. I don't object to that a whole bunch. So, I'm gonna roll with that. This I'll have to mess with a bit. Let's see. See what the other side looks like when I mess with that. Keep forgetting to take pictures as I go. Not that I think it matters a whole bunch for this. Okay. Let's see if I can get the worst off of that edge. I may just fuck it up and Dremel it rather than running the extractor, because that was definitely too loud. Sorry. Let's see. Maybe a bit low. swear I've had a hook somewhere. I think I can use this. Good enough for now. Good enough for now. Right. Yeah, so the extractor kind of helped, in fairness to it. Kind of evens that up. Kinda. Still a lot to take off by hand. That's no biggie. I could take a lot off from in here, actually. Not so much from that side, though. Interesting. More down here, I think. Better than it was. That can still come in. It's kind of the same on the other side, to be honest. These aren't particularly even. I'm reluctant to go too nuts with it. Let me look at it out of the light. That's the only danger if I go too nuts with it. Because these bits are uneven. Because it was never quite symmetrical to begin with. I might have to leave it at that. To be honest. Try and fill these gaps. Or file them off. Yeah. Give it one of these. time. Just gone 4. Okay. That's fine. I've got this mostly dealt with at this point. Mostly okay. Just, don't look at it too hard. You can see one side is thicker than the other. If I take it down in here, I'm going to take it down on the other side. That's the trouble. So I don't want to do that. It's not really a way of fixing it, to be honest. I'm inclined to just leave it as it is. I don't think I'm going to be able to make that any better. Doesn't look too bad from a distance. Ooh, camera, please. There we go. Yeah, one side certainly looks nicer than the other. This side looks okay. This side's kind of It's not bad. Not bad. Basically just need to bring this more in line. I'm thinking I might be able to cheese it by getting some angles in. That's what I'm hoping. Try and make it look a little bit more even than it actually is. There's little gaps I'm going to have to deal with, as well as the big gaps. Especially the big gaps. If I can deal with the worst of this, I think if I deal with the worst of this, look at trying to fill some of the gaps. Not bad. What I think I'll do is I'll stick some Milliput into a bunch of these gaps. I'll need to sand that off anyway. And that'll give me a little extra something to work with in the places that actually kind of need evening out. definitely going to end up faffing with the very end of this. That's fine. I was going to try and get this little chunk out. That's going to be interesting. How fine can I get with that? I'm pretty sure I've got like a super pointy bit. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll probably chip away at that. Let me see. I don't know why I'm so bothered in gloves. They've been wrecked for a little bit now. Oh well. Mm. This is gonna be a fast thing. That's doable. Kind of size this is different. There we go. That's a load of work, isn't it? Let's try and do the same sort of thing on this side. Right, have a look. Oh yeah, okay, that pretty much deals with it. That's fine. I'd say that's a successful surgery. So, at this point, I think it would be sensible, first off, to remove these bloody gloves, because they're not doing me any favours. Just make the hands really sweaty. Just unhelpful. Ugh. I know I've got some kitchen roll in here. Wipe my hands off first. I'm gonna get dust stuck everywhere if I don't. I mean, I still have dust everywhere, but Let me unplug that. I'm going to need this again, so I'm inclined to leave it somewhere more immediately accessible. I guess I'll just leave it here for now. Yeah, that's fine. Right. Well, what I'd like to do dust a bunch of this off. Then I can see. So, what I'm up against at this point. Having a seam line is not the end of the world, but I want it all to be pretty even. So, this bit down here, you can kind of see a line where the two join, but it's smooth, so I don't care. If it's like this, where there's a ridge, I do care. So, and obviously I've got a bunch of gaps to fill as well. So what I'm going to do now, as my final act before out, I'm going to, frustratingly, put more gloves on. I'm going to do that. I'm going to use some Milliput. I'm going to take it along all the edges. Fill a bunch of gaps. And then by the next time I can faff with all this, everything will be cured and I can sand it. I have absolutely sworn. Stuff is immense. I have done everything in my power to look after it. Because it's just been unbelievably helpful. Yeah, but a little bit growthy up there. So what I'll do is I'll just take off the bit that's gone nasty. Get rid of it. I'm hoping I won't need to use tons of it. That's the hope. Okay. I always end up taking too much. I'll try not to this time. Let me get 2 of those in. Order more of this. Once I have double that, that should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I don't want to mix the two. Ugh. So I'll change my gloves again. Annoying that the other ones had split. It is what it is. I'll order some more of this. These gloves suck. But they're cheap and they do the job for the most part, so whatever. Alright, I'll try it out with you. Oh, you actually feel okay. Fair play to you. How big are you compared to your... And here? Maybe slightly too big. That's about right. Hopefully that all stays nice. Well, nice is relative, I suppose. Now, I have to try and smush these together. My hoodie is so covered in stuff. Oh well. It's starting to feel kind of toasty. It's just epoxy clay. But when it cures, it's very fine. It's almost like a super strong plaster. This is what I use to fill in the gaps on the misprinted areas from the pauldrons of my Wave Mother robe. So yeah, this stuff is kind of great. Alright. Let's see. Take a bit at a time and work your way around, I guess. Kinda need to just get it up in that gap. I feel like this is going to be more of a faff than it was ever intended to be. Oh well. No biggie. I'll just smush it. Or I won't. I sod it. Go for a thicker version. Just kind of cram it. Keep sticking to itself. That's the trouble. No, you stay in there, dang it. better. I think if I just roll out a bigger bit to go along that edge, I may have a slightly easier time. That's the only trouble, is it does love to stick to itself, which is useful, but also, as you wear gloves with it, it's kind of irritating. I think I used a silicone tool for this last time. Thinking about it. Oh yeah, I absolutely did. Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna keep an eye on the time now as well. I always choose to engage in the most fiddly things right before I need to leave. Annoying. I managed to get this to be a lot smoother the last time I used it. It's probably because the stuff I'm using has been sitting around for, well, actually, over a year. Probably actually not doing me many favours, realistically. But there you go. That's what it is. I use what I've got. And I'll order some more anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, I think I just need to order some new stuff. Don't know whether this is going to work as well as I wanted it to be honest. Split in glove as well. Not sure how well this is going to work, you know. It was not an issue the last time I used it. So it's probably just that the clay is old. Objectively unlikely to be any good anymore. I can still fill some gaps with it. Let me patch up this thumb gap real quick. Half past. Yeah, okay. Time is not on my side at this point. So I'll do what I can with this. And then I'll have to run away. I'll just see what I can get away with, I suppose. Don't imagine it's actually going to be a whole lot. Not with the way this sticks to itself. I can just cram it into that gap. That's all that really matters. This is definitely not what I was working with last year. Definitely not. This was amazing last time. So I reckon it's just past its expiry. That would be my guess. Wondering whether it's going to be quicker just to whack it in with my thumb. It might be, you know. Yeah. It's going to be one of those. Right, that's better. A bit more. Main thing is going to be the very front. This big old gap in here. See what I can do with this. Oops. Bad. Facial awareness remains terrible. Come on, get in there. this point, really. I'm staying longer than I should be. If I can just get the worst offenders dealt with. All I really want. Massive gaps along that bit. Yeah. Still think using my fingers is going to be easier. Okay, that's most of it. Just one little bit. Up in here. Past that point. Kinda needs to be it. Really. I don't have the time to do a whole lot else. Hopefully that makes my life slightly easier in the future. No, don't do that, you bastard. Oh, I'm so late. Guess I just won't eat before work today. Oh well. Whatever. Not like I have to do it for much longer anyway. Right. Let's just call it that. Definitely going to be annoying later, but oh well. I can just get off the worst of it. The rest can be a future me problem. That fills most of the gaps. Slightly chaotic. But, oh god. It serves a purpose, it's whatever. It's fine. Just has to fill the gap. And I'll mess with the rest later. Right. Leave this sat here. No, pass with it. Later date. While I'm here, might be able to use some of this on this Charizard. I absolutely can. Hell yeah. If I can use a tiny bit on the back as well. Oops. It's sticking to me, of course. Come on. I do not have time for this. I can deal with that at a later date. Might be able to use a tiny bit in here as well. After that, that's going to be it. Yeah, I totally can. Awesome. Right, I'm going to have to call it there. Get rid of the rest of this. Alright. That's going to be it for now. I can take this tape off my thumb. Just about. Because I'm just going to have to go get changed and go straight to work. Oh well, it is what it is. But I ought to be back doing this again tomorrow morning to see what kind of mess I've left with using clearly expired epoxy clay. But oh well, it's what it is. So I will catch you guys probably tomorrow. So yeah, in a bit.